Hello, hello, hello. I'm just gonna adjust just a smidge here. Welcome as you're joining in. Feel free to let me know where you're tuning in from. And if this is your first time joining us, we're glad you're here. So, sort of what we do in these Soul Flow live paint and chats is I just kind of channel whatever messages come through, set the topic, and we do intuitive art. So that is just art that is intuitive. I have nothing planned. I don't know what I'm going to create or what that end product is going to look like. Just going, listening with my intuition, picking colors that speak to me, things like that. So I am Haley Hoover, the owner of The Sparkling Hippie. That's the name of my business. And I help women find their intuitive, creative life. So I do a mix of things. I'm an intuitive healer. I use art, energy healing, Reiki, traditional coaching, all sorts of methods to help my clients connect more fully to their true selves. So today I wanted to talk a bit about purpose. I think this is something that people get a little bit up in arms about. I think most of our society assumes that purpose is your career, right? Like living your purpose. They think, oh, you're an artist or you're an author. And your purpose can be your career, but it's not necessarily your career. Living your purpose has a lot more to do with feeling in alignment, feeling in flow, feeling joyful. So I always say how to find out if you're in alignment, how to get in alignment. Start by just asking yourself what feels like fun, what would bring you joy. I do lots of workshops with corporate teams, and this is one of my favorite workshops is asking them to pinpoint what brings them joy. So something you can do, we'll use the yellow, is just make a list. What brings you joy? Just right now, drop in the comments. Give me a couple of things. What brings you joy? And usually when I do this exercise many times a year as I'm teaching. I'm usually participating. And for me, it's always simple things. Watching a sunset, going for a walk, drinking a nice hot cup of tea, working with plants. So I've, again, taught this quite a bit, and it seems like everyone, we think, oh, I need XYZ, I need to travel, I need to do, but really, most people, when we do this exercise, it's the simple, free things that bring them joy. So if you're following your joy, and you're doing what lights you up, you're going to strengthen your intuition that way because you're listening to what lights you up. You're listening to what makes you tick. By being tuned into what makes you tick, you are putting yourself in higher alignment, higher vibration, higher attracting mechanism to what you desire. What you desire desires you, right? So whatever it is that you're wanting, it desires you back. But we have to make sure, and this is very important, we have to make sure that that desire is coming from soul and not from ego. And so that is why we start with joy. What brings you joy, right? Because joy is the soul. So have you ever wanted something really bad and then you got it and then you just wore over it really quick? You weren't that into it? That's usually a sign that that desire was from ego and not from your soul. So alignment is always going to be coming from the soul. So it's going to be coming from joy, from something that truly lights you up and makes you tick. I thinking this paint tube is about empty. Let's see. Should we cut it open? See what we can get out, if anything. Oh, here we go. There's a little. It's always a fun part of the process. So anyone here, if you're here live and you have some questions, if you want me to channel a message for you, feel free to drop in the chat. We've got a few minutes. We've got about 10 minutes. So feel free to ask questions about your purpose or what brings you joy. And I'd love to know, again, if you want to drop in the chat, tell me what brings you joy. I always love asking people this question. For me, painting, intuitive painting, is one of those things that brings me joy. I have nowhere to go. I have no agenda. I don't have to think. That is my bliss. I'm a Vata, if you're familiar with the Ayurvedic doshas. And Vatas kind of prefer to just float around and be in their creativity. And intuitive art allows me to feel my most floaty. I enjoy that. Also, I'm enjoying how this painting is coming along. These colors are really fun. Let's see. Maybe add some chunkies. I've also been told sometimes it's nice to just listen to the markers and things. There's a little bit of ASMR there. People really enjoy. That's fine too. Maybe you just want to sit here and watch and listen. You are more than welcome to do that. I try to go live Thursdays at noon Central Time is what we've been doing, in between 11:30 and noon. So I've been doing that for a month and just seeing how it goes, seeing how I feel, how it feels for other people. I need to do a sketchbook tour. I promised you guys a couple weeks ago a sketchbook tour. Haven't got that done yet, but we will. Don't you worry. Okay, we're getting to the point where the paper has become saturated. So I don't know if you can tell. It's kind of like balled up right there. So we've got as much product on the page as it can handle for today, which actually went really quickly. Sometimes I get the paint on there really quick. Other times it takes a while. So, in the interest of not watching paint dry, oh, I do have an idea. I'm going to go ahead and just flip this guy. And this rest of this paint that we have in here, I'm going to see what I can salvage. We'll just start a background for the next one. Maybe this will be next week's painting. And you don't have to do this. I like to use every ounce of paint I can because it kind of makes it interesting background, interesting texture. I'm not interested in being precise or precious here. All right, that's pretty good. Got my money's worth out of that too, huh? Ooh, look at all that beautiful pigment. That's just off of the palette knife. So, I don't know who here needs to hear this, but I don't want you to worry about finding your purpose or inventing your purpose or assuming your purpose needs to be a career or a business. You can be very, very purposeful working any level job. I always like to tell people, waitresses, that is a calling. That is a purpose. You can change someone's life being a waitress. So don't worry about occupation. Don't worry about career. But instead, again, go back to what brings you joy, what lights you up, what's fun for you. And when you're listening to your truth, what you're listening to your joy, you're following that path, that bliss path for yourself, and giving yourself permission to live in that bliss. When you're doing that, you're going to be in your purpose no matter where you live, where you work, because you're sharpening that intuition, your intuitive skill, that listening muscle, and that's what keeps you in alignment. That's what points you to your purpose. That's what keeps you in your purpose. So I'm going to call this good as well. If you're interested in learning more about what I'm talking about, I have published several journals. This is one I'd recommend for today's chat, Brazenly Beautiful. It's the basics on getting clear and confident in your life's journey. Tons of journaling prompts, but also, some things to chew on. It's just 6 really simple chapters going through these very basic tools that I use daily, tools that help you understand your path, your purpose, and stick to it. So there's a link below. There's also a link in my bio, and these are available. You can download it digitally and save some money, or you can go to Amazon and get the paperback copy. And I like the paperback because you can, do this. You can bend it and write right in it. So anyway, there's that. And then, of course, if you want to dive even deeper and maybe you want a personalized one-on-one session, I do offer private sessions where I offer you my full attention and energy for 90 minutes. And be it Reiki, art messaging, coaching, whatever it is that you need, I create a bespoke session just for you so that we can get to the heart of what it is that you're wanting to feel more clarity about, more confidence about, whatever it is that you want. So that is always an option too. There's a link below for that for private sessions. Also on my website, thesparklinghippie.com, HIPPIE, not hippie with a Y. So I'm just going to let both of these dry and we will resume. We've got 2 beautiful backgrounds, right? So we've got this guy and then we've got our first one we started with. Both look awesome. So I'm going to let them dry and then come back next week, next Thursday around this same time, and we'll layer up and see what we can do with these pieces from here. So thank you guys so much for joining. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed it. Feel free to share this with a friend, and I will see you next week. Have a beautiful rest of your day.